I believe we're live.
Why don't we do a piece of music, and then I'll ask you some questions.
Okay, here we go.
Emmanuel.
Thank you.
So now that you're warmed up, maybe we could hear something impressive.
Okay, let's do a medley. Let's do a medley of my hit.
Look, what you play is up to you, but we want to ask you some questions. Tommy Emmanuel, you're from Australia.
I am.
You were the son of a coal miner.
Yeah. My father was working in a coal mine at the time I was born. And I think two of my siblings were born, at the same place. And the family kind of moved around. Before I was born, my father worked in a wood cutting, like a sawmill. And then he got a job in the coal mine, and then they moved on to something else. He kind of moved around. But he was always, he was one of these people that he could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. But it was my mother who had music in her and who taught all us kids about the joy of music and to play music together and enjoy it together.
Now, later in your life, you would go and you were asked to record on a posthumous Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
And what I like about that narrative is that your early days were not unlike the Jackson 5.
Well, it was, the only difference was, I think the Jackson 5 probably made anywhere between $100,000 and $500,000 a night, and my family probably made somewhere between $10 and $50 a night. I think that's the difference.
Well, okay. Look, if you want to split hairs, if you want to get aggressive this early in the interview, I know.
Well, I was a big Michael Jackson fan, always have been.
And you were in a family band at the age of 4.
That's right. I started first, actually, and then the rest of the family kind of took up instruments after that. But I didn't turn professional till I was 6, so I was a bit of a late bloomer. But in actual fact, the truth is that I was actually the world's youngest professional guitar player for many years. They just didn't have a Guinness Book of Records in those days.
So you went fully pro, age 6, and your band was supporting
the family. Being
professional
means you earn a living doing what it is that you do, and that's how we made a living, by playing music. Well, a normal day for us back in 1961, 62. a normal day for the Emmanuel family would be to drive into town from wherever we were, set up in front of a hotel, a pub, and play on the street corner. And my dad would take the hat around and get a few bucks. And then we'd go down and set up in the hall where we were going to play. And then when the kids would come out of school, we'd make a hell of a big noise in the hall and attract the kids going by, so they'd all come in and have a listen to us playing, go home and tell their parents, and then we'd get a few people along to the show. And that was a normal day for us. Not everybody's destiny is to do what I do. I've always known that playing music's what I'm born to do, and I never wanted really to do anything else. And it's a wonderful life, playing music.
So you go pro at the age of 6, and then you were touring with the family band for years. You're 5 hours outside of Sydney, right?
That's where I was born, yeah. But by the time we got playing, we'd already moved to another place.
Okay. So the idea of you attending school was somewhat complicated, and the authorities got involved.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit later. My schooling was done by correspondence. So my teacher was in Sydney and corrected and marked all my work and sent it in the post. The government provided postage. But my mother was my supervisor, so she supervised all the lessons. But what my brother and I did, because we wanted to get out and play all the time, we would do the whole week's work on Monday and then just play the rest of the time. So we get everything done on the Monday, send it in, and then wait for the results, and then do the following week's work like that. So, but we were, always on the go, and we were always trying to learn new songs. We would listen to the radio, and we also had a little kind of a plastic record player, which took batteries, and so we would buy a record, and then we would stick it on the player, and then to work out all the guitar parts, we'd just stick our finger on it and slow it down, stuff like that.
Your brother had a really good ear.
My brother had a great ear, yeah. He could hear a dog barking and say that was B flat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically how we learned everything was we would hear a song, and then my brother would say, oh, it goes like this, these are the chords, and I would work out my part, you know. When I was starting out as a rhythm player, I wasn't aware that there was a bass guitar on the records. So, you know, there was some records that we were working out, and there was a bass part on this record which went like this. And the rhythm part went... What I heard was... So I heard the bass part and the rhythm part together. And so there was no bass player in our band. I covered the bass. And it was like a happy accident, because when I heard Chet Atkins, which changed my life, my ear was already advanced enough that I could hear he was playing everything at once. So I started working out this, he's doing this bass part like that, and then... So I could hear that and worked it out.